Magic!
Dirty pop, baby, you can't stop. I know you like this dirty pop.
Welcome to McInnes Marketing Minute for the week of January 14th.
I think it's the 15th.
It is today, but the 14th was
The week start? Okay, correct.
Yeah, there we go.
Welcome, hello.
And today we are going to talk about the price reductions.
We talked about that last week. Today is the pricing for first-time home buyers and how it's such a perfectly honed market for them.
Alright, we need to cover this. Okay, alright. So, talking about the homes for first-time home buyers. So, we've noticed,
Sorry?
Gesundheit, it's all kicking off. So, we have noticed typically when it's supposed to be a little bit quiet, the first 2 to 3 weeks is usually kind of like that holiday hangover. People are kind of remembering their name, remembering they actually have a job, remembering that it's actually a bad thing to drink at 10:30 a.m., getting themselves back to normal life, and then typically that hangover lasts until second, third week of January.
Okay.
Second, third week. Mm-hmm. And then from there, they start to, people start coming out of the woodwork, they start thinking about home purchasing decisions, and then we typically see things pick up maybe that third to fourth week of January. Buyers start coming back out, they start looking at booking showings, attending open houses. That's usually what has happened this year, Jay.
The velocity of that comeback to the market has picked up a little.
A little.
It's quite a bit, actually. It's been busy. Already.
So
which is a good sign, considering what we've been through.
Yeah, so I mean, December is always a slower month. It's always known for being a slower month, regardless whether the market is hot or cold. Everyone's focusing on Christmas, the New Year and such, so listings take a dip, sales take a dip. And this is gold. Sales take a dip, and so overall the market slows down significantly. But the first couple of weeks since we've been back has been extremely busy, and it's not just us. We've had a couple of discussions with other realtors in the market, and we've kind of said to them, what have you been finding with your open houses and showings? And they've said it's been picking up drastically, like multiple groups through open houses, multiple showings taking place. And in chatting further, the discussion in which we had led us to a couple of points which seemed to ring for all of the realtors we were talking to in terms of the property available and the price point. First of all, prices tend to be $650,000 or lower for the units, and there are a lot of first-time buyers coming out of the woodwork.
Yeah, so in that category, we're seeing obviously as the entry level to the market now is pretty much there. You can get lower, but for kind of one bedrooms in newer, we'll say buildings, kind of post 2000 built, concrete high rises, for example, that 600 range as 650, kind of under 700,000 is the kind of the average. And we're getting a lot of traffic through the listings that we have in that category. Speaking to the listing agents of listings we're looking at with buyers in that category, the same thing. And I think what it is, and it resembles, from my memory, very closely back to 2008, is the market had been soft or softening for quite some time, as we saw at the end of last year. And buyers now, as the year has kind of quickly picked up, as Ben has said, are now saying, okay, well, first-time buyers specifically, I don't have to sell anything to buy. I've got my pre-approval in place. Things kind of just got cheaper as I watched, as new benchmarks were set, as the pricing went down, and now there's new product in my price range that I was priced out of before. So first-time buyers are starting to get very active in this market, get out there. I don't think it's going to see an increase in pricing personally from this activity, but we're seeing after a very typical dip in both sales and listings in December, a lot of people coming out of the woodwork now in the second week of January and really starting to pick things up, stimulate the market again, and be out there and active and beginning their search seriously now.
Yeah, and a lot of the conversations we've been having are with first-time home buyers who they've already been looking for a few months, but they were looking Tri-Cities, so Coquitlam, New West, Port Moody, some in Burnaby, and it wasn't until they actually kind of took a look at Vancouver that they realised, hang on, there's actually something in our price range here, or not just something, quite a few that we can get a property with a Vancouver address, which if you're a first-time investor or a first-time home buyer, seems to be a lot more preferential. And a lot of the guys that we've been talking to, they would rather have a one-bedroom condo in Vancouver rather than, say, a two-bedroom unit in the Tri-Cities or something that's a little bit older in order to actually get into the city. So if you're potentially thinking about selling the home, it's a good opportunity for you potentially, because these people have been looking for a while already. They were just looking in the wrong area. They've now realized that they can get something closer into the city, and they've been looking for a while, they've been comparing, and they're going to be ready to pull the trigger in the next next month or 2 or 3.
Yeah, it depends. I think more so we're just seeing a lot more seriousness in the conversations with people coming in. Before the end of last year, you'd still get traffic, of course, through listings, but people are very vague and we're just out starting the search, starting the conversation with our realtors that we're working with and beginning. And now there seems to be a lot more push and urgency in the market that they feel pricing is now stable, or it's just become appealing enough to finally make the move, or they've just playing the whole let's pick the bottom. I don't think it may go down anymore. Obviously, everyone has their own opinion of what direction it's going to go from here, but if you've been watching for a number of months or kind of almost up to a year, maybe it's just that has come into play, but we're definitely seeing a lot more urgency with that segment of the market through listings and buyers that we're working with. So it's picked up quickly, and it's very reminiscent of 2008, I think, in that regard, that buyers were kind of on the side, waiting, watching, pre-approved, didn't need to do subject to sales like a lot of people are trying to do right now, and just kind of watched the prices adjust down until it was comfortable for them, and then they were getting in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so great opportunity, and we're seeing for first-time home buyers now with that market correction we've been going through, and clearly there are people out there taking advantage of that as well. So if you're priced in the range that we went with 650,000 and below, expect quite a lot of potential interest from first-time home buyers or first-time investors, because it seems like they're out, they've been watching the market, and they're ready to take advantage of the correction. Yeah,
and I think we're using that as kind of the benchmark to like a higher end entry-level one-bedroom. We just saw a few things pop up in Chinatown in the last couple of days, studios that are kind of in that mid to high 400 range, some with some without parking. So there's definitely a variety happening under that 600,000, under that 650 mark, depending what level of first-time buyer you are. If you're just trying to get into a studio, if you actually want a one-bedroom, or of course older inventory with bigger rooms, more space, maybe a 2-bedroom, but just in an older building that's still worth buying in. Under that 650 cap that we're talking about, there's still kind of a laundry list of options.
That's it. So that's it from us this week, guys.
That's it.
Coffee overload today.
Thank you for watching, commenting, and subscribing, and liking,
and reviewing.
And if you have any other reviewing, and if you have any other topics you'd like us to speak on specifically, message through any of the platforms. We'd love to give our 2 cents on any questions you have.
Yeah, we're opening up the doors again, guys. We had quite a lot of requests come through for topics that we wanted covered, and we're sorry if we didn't get around to yours, but we are this year really putting an effort on trying to put content out there which is user requested that you're actually going to find beneficial. So reach out on the contact details below in the blurb here, and we will be happy to have a further conversation. And if it's something that we can't cover for you in a blog, say, then we're more than happy to pick up the phone or a text and have an individual chat as well. But find us on Instagram under McInnes Marketing and Real Benjamin Robinson, and
I'm Jay McInnes.
And YouTube is McInnes Marketing as well. Until next week, guys.
Bye-bye.
McInnes Marketing out.
dirty pop. Baby, you can't stop. I know you like this dirty pop.
Good evening, I'm Tom Tucker. Remember that Family Guy?
No, Tom Tucker is.
No, Tom Tucker is.
No.